All right, 2024 Daytona 500, less than 10 laps to go. This is moments before the big one happens. If you watched the race, you know that the big one comes from Alex Bowman to William Byron to Brad Keselowski, and then it's on from there. I'm not assigning blame. These are just the hits that happen before everything explodes. This is interesting because William Byron ends up winning this race. So this inspired me to go through the last several Daytona 500s to see where the winner was when the biggest wreck of the day happened. So I created a color system here. Red cars wrecked out of the race because of this incident. Yellow cars were in the wreck but kept going on. The winner is going to be blue, but since William Byron was in the wreck, blue plus yellow, green. All right, so this is 2024 William Byron, front of the lead pack with less than 10 laps to go, part of the initial contact, but is able to continue on and win the 500. In 2023, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. were here in overtime. Stenhouse Jr. already leading at this point. So what actually kind of led up to this moment is Bell, Larson, and Stenhouse. They came down from the outside. But the hit went from Byron, again, by the way, to Austin Dillon. Austin Dillon hit Hamlin, and then it was on from there. So something that I noticed here that I thought was interesting is that the inside line seemed to have more cars that got caught up in the wreck and got more damage than cars on the outside, which is kind of odd because at the moment of impact here, it looks like Austin Dillon is flying to the outside. Anyway, just something to notice here. Anyway, the winner, Stenhouse, in front of everybody. 2022, I apologize for these camera angles. This is the best angle that they have of the field at this moment. Anyway, okay. Again here, okay, so Harrison Burton is flying to the inside, and of course, a lot of those inside line cars end up getting taken out. Austin Cindric in the back is not in the lead pack, but he is still at least in the frame. He goes on to win this Daytona 500. This is interesting because this is still fairly early in the race. 2021, this is the only year where the only year that I checked the stage racing era. This is the only race where the eventual winner this year, Michael McDowell, was not in the frame right before the big one. So anyway, it's lap 15. But anyway, I thought that was interesting. Again here, kind of a weird spread of cars that get taken out. You have this patch in the middle with like Larson, Logano, Elliott that end up fine. We go back to 2020. This is a little earlier than the wreck. The wreck happens further down the backstretch. But again, the Fox always zooming in. This is as wide as it got. Denny Hamlin, this is interesting because he's right there behind the initial contact, but not in it. And he goes on to win this thing. This one happened with 17 to go. 2019, this is by far the best angle we have. This one basically takes out everybody on the outside. So this kind of is the opposite of what I noticed in these last few years where it seemed like the inside was getting taken out more. In 2019, it was the outside line that got it way worse. And also note that the race winner, Denny Hamlin, leading the pack with 10 to go, not in the big one. 2018, 2 to go. Not quite overtime, but it will go to overtime, or this race will go to overtime. Austin Dillon, your ex Almirola in turn 3. You can't forget that. Anyway, at the point of the big one, Blaney into Kurt Busch appear at the front, and that takes out the outside line. The inside line is mostly able to make it past, including Austin Dillon, who ends up winning the 500. 2017, we're just past halfway. Again, in this one, the outside line gets it worse. Kurt Busch, who ends up winning the race, is right in the heart of this pack. But he ends up he gets caught up in it, but he's able to continue on and eventually win the thing. Anyway, I'm going to take us back to 2019 because this is the best shot of any of them. So anyway, I went through all of these big ones, and at the moment of the frames that I've captured here, I tallied up each of the 3 lines, if there were 3 lines, or inside, outside, if there were 2, to see if there was a place you want to be at a certain time of the race. So you can see here on my chart, you can see the year, when in the race the big one happened, and then what happened to the cars that were in the shot with the leader when things started to go south. Over time, the outside line is much more dangerous, much more likely to lead to a DNF. The middle line is pretty hazardous, and then the inside seems to have a pretty good survival rate. And also, I thought it was interesting, it's pretty much an even spread for where the winner was at the time of the big one. If you notice something that I'm not noticing, please let me know in the comments. But I guess the one thing I would note, my sampling error is kind of dependent on the Fox angle. Like some years, like 2019 obviously had more cars were in the data in 2019 than in 2017. Anyway, all that being said, thank you for watching. please consider subscribing. And I guess stay in the front is the thing to do.